This is why Governor Ron DeSantis won't end property taxes in Florida, even though voters have been screaming for it. DeSantis has crushed it on everything else, so why is this the one thing that's not getting done? In this video, I'm going to show you why DeSantis is dragging his feet on killing property taxes, how Florida politicians are flooding the ballot with fake bills just to split the vote, and the 5 things a property tax elimination bill has to include so Florida homeowners don't get screwed. Let's jump in. We keep hearing this over and over again.
This is going to be on the ballot in November of 2026. So it's over a year away. We're working very hard with folks. You got to get the language right. You got to get the numbers. You got to get all that. Florida resident, you have a home. You're homesteaded. You should own it. You shouldn't be taxed. That shouldn't be an ATM for the local government. Like, that's the vision that we want to see.
And I'm with him. If you have to send the government a check every year just to keep your house, and if you don't, they can take it, that's not home ownership. That's renting from the government forever. Floridians are done with it. Look at this poll on YouTube I ran. Over 2,900 people voted, and it wasn't even close. 98% said yes to ending property taxes in Florida. The other 2%, probably Florida politicians. People want this on the ballot in November of 2026 so they can vote on it for good. So what's the holdup? You'd think something this popular would already be moving. But while everyone's focused on DeSantis, wondering why he hasn't just made it happen, the Florida state legislature is actually trying to do something about it. Or are they? The Florida House dropped 8 new bills, or technically joint resolutions, to reform property taxes. Sounds great, right? Until you read the fine print, not one of them does what DeSantis has been calling for: eliminate property taxes completely. Not one out of 8. Then the Florida Senate jumps in with 5 more. Want to guess how many of those end property taxes? 0. Here's how it works. Most of those are joint resolutions, and what that means is they don't just change a law, they change the Florida Constitution. So it goes to the voters. And to pass, they need 60% of the people to vote for it. That's a supermajority, which is tough to hit unless you got something the public actually wants, which, again, we do. The poll said 98%. If there was just one clean resolution to eliminate property taxes, it'd pass easily. But politicians don't want that. Property taxes are a massive cash cow. Counties and cities blow the money like they're at the strip club, tossing cash at nonprofits, consultants, NGOs, school board initiatives, anything that looks good and might get them reelected. They're spending like rock stars, and they don't want the party to end. So what do? County commissioners, mayors, city councils, school boards, government-funded nonprofits, they start screaming at lawmakers, "Don't you dare cut off the money." And the politicians in Tallahassee, they want to keep their seats. They don't want to piss off the local power players or their own voter base. So they came up with a clever little trick, a plan that looks like it's helping voters, but actually changes nothing. Here's the scam. Picture a room with 100 people. You ask, who wants to watch The Office? Boom, easy win, because it's hilarious. But then you throw in the Big Bang Theory, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Modern Family, Stranger Things. Now, nobody agrees. The vote splits and nothing gets picked. That's exactly what Florida politicians are doing. They're loading the ballot with feel-good tax plans, knowing none will hit 60%. And when they all fail, they get to shrug and say, "Hey, we tried. We gave you the chance to end property taxes, but you didn't vote for it." They look like heroes, you feel like crap, and the dream of ending property taxes dies forever. Meanwhile, cities and counties get to keep their bloated budgets, the cash keeps flowing, and the party continues, baby. So now we got 13 bills, all dressed up like property tax reform, and all of them are designed to fail. Let's look at the one introduced by Rep. Juan Carlos Porras, a Republican from Miami. He introduced HJR 205, which stands for House Joint Resolution 205. On the surface, it sounds amazing. It says Florida residents 65 and older won't have to pay non-school property taxes on their homesteads. Sounds like a win, right? But here's the catch. You still have to pay the school tax, which is often the biggest chunk of your property tax bill. And let's be real, if you're 65, you probably ain't got a bunch of kids in school anymore, right? So you're still stuck paying for a system you're not even using. It also says it would take effect January 1st, 2027 if it passes. And it throws in some fluff about protecting law enforcement funding. But that's already law in Florida. They're just padding the bill to make it sound tougher than it is. Now, let's do the math. About 20% of Florida voters are 65 or older. The other 79% are under 65, and they get 0 relief from the bill. So how in the world are you going to get 60% of voters to approve it? You're not, and that's exactly the point. Porras is selling this thing like a gift to seniors, but it's not. It's a political decoy, just like the other 12 fake-out bills. It's built to fail. This isn't about passing good policy. It's about cluttering the ballot just enough to confuse people and block anything that would actually work. But that brings us back to the big question. Why doesn't DeSantis just step up and end property taxes himself? Well, here's the part nobody tells you. First off, don't blame Uncle Ronnie D. He's done more for Florida than any other governor in the history of the state. But this one, it's not on him, because he can't introduce legislation. That's not how the system works. All he can do is sign a bill into law or veto it. That's it. He doesn't get to write the bills. So no, he can't just snap his fingers and end property taxes. That takes a Florida legislature stepping up to file a joint resolution that eliminates property taxes on homestead homes. And then voters have to pass it. DeSantis is out of it. He gets no say in the process. So to get it on the ballot, it's going to take a team effort. DeSantis can't do it alone. But what he did do is lay the groundwork. He pitched the idea, built the team, and proved it's possible. First, he brought in Florida CFO Blaise Ingoglia to run Florida DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency. Basically, the state's watchdog. And what Blaise found is insane. Some counties in Florida have increased their budgets by 50% in just 5 years. That's not growth. That's reckless spending. And if they just cut all that waste out of their bloated budgets, we'd have more than enough to fund schools, police, firefighters, and roads without charging homeowners a dime in property taxes. So when politicians whine, where's the money gonna come from? It's already there. They just don't want to stop blowing it on pet projects and nonprofits. And for the counties that don't take in a lot of money from tourists and other revenue sources,
I can take all 32 fiscally constrained counties. I could fund 100% of tax revenue that would be derived from a homestead, Florida residents, property taxes. And it's like budget dust for us. I mean, we got a massive surplus. So we can do that and we will do that. So don't let anybody in the rural counties act like you're not going to be able to do, because I can just do it without even worrying. I'm not going to let that keep us from doing property tax relief. So if I have to do appropriation, I'm going to support doing an appropriation. I mean, it's just that simple.
Next, DeSantis picked Jay Collins, a Green Beret turned Florida senator and now second in command of the state as lieutenant governor. He wanted somebody tough, somebody who could keep pushing Florida in the right direction. And Collins, there's nobody tougher. This guy's a beast. Now what we need is one rep to step up, team up with DeSantis and Collins, and introduce a clean resolution that actually ends property taxes. And don't worry, they're not going to let Florida get taken for a ride. If this passes, DeSantis and Collins are making sure the fine print doesn't get hijacked. Here's the 5 things they're going to want locked in before it ever goes to the voters. Number 1, eliminate property taxes on all homestead homes. No breaks, no carve-outs, no watered-down versions. If it's your primary residence, you pay 0 in property taxes. Doesn't matter if you lived there for 30 years or just closed last week. If you live there full time, you're in. People are done getting taxed to death. You work your whole life to pay off your house, and the government still hits you with a bill every year just to keep it. That's not ownership. That's a scam. Ending property taxes gives people what they thought they already had, a home that's actually theirs. Number 2, keep taxing commercial properties. Second homes, vacation rentals, Airbnbs, corporate-owned houses, investment properties, businesses. If it's not your main home, it stays taxed. This protects real Florida homeowners without blowing up local budgets. It also keeps out-of-staters, snowbirds, foreign buyers, and hedge funds like BlackRock from getting the same break as full-time residents. You want the exemption? Live here. Show your Florida ID, car and voter registration at that address. No shell companies, no games, one home, one tax break. Everything else, still on the hook. Number 3, block local governments from slapping on fake fees to replace property taxes. No sneaky service charges, no garbage surcharges, no stormwater add-ons. You better believe they're going to try it. They'll put a price on air if they can. But if we kill the tax, we kill the loopholes too. The savings stays with the homeowner, where they belong. Number 4, use the commercial property taxes already coming in to cover the essentials. Schools, police, firefighters, roads, that's the priority. Before $1 goes to pet projects, branding consultants, or community initiatives, the basics get paid for. No excuses. Florida DOGE already exposed the wasteful spending, like Broward County spending $890,000 on DEI training, including pushing the gingerbread person. What? They're not broke, they're bloated. This kind of crap needs to end. Number 5, stop using property taxes to fund nonprofits or push political agendas. Lock that in up front. No more handouts to activist groups or identity projects. If your nonprofit can't survive without tax money, you're not a nonprofit, you're a government program. Property taxes should fund services, not social experiments. Until we see the DeSantis-Collins backed bill drop, here's what you gotta do. First, don't fall for the BS these Republicans and Democrat politicians are trying to shovel. They're not trying to end property taxes, they're trying to confuse voters so nothing gets passed. The media? Same deal. They're already selling this garbage like it's real reform. And soon, they're gonna start stirring the pot. Watch for it. They'll try to turn retirees against young people. They'll make it seem like this is a senior tax break or a Gen Z giveaway. Anything to split us up and kill support for the one bill that actually matters. Don't fall for it. Don't let them divide us. DeSantis has done more for Florida than any other governor in the state's history. He took Florida from a purple swing state with 260,000 more Democrats in 2018 to a deep red stronghold with 1.4 million more Republicans today. That's not luck, that's results. He backed the cops, he stopped the woke nonsense, he protected our freedoms, and ran the state like it mattered. We need to show up in November 2026 and vote for the bill he supports. And remember, DeSantis can't run for governor again, so he's not going to be on the ballot. But I'm betting Jay Collins is going to step up and run for governor, and Ron DeSantis is going to back him. Because in Florida, DeSantis' endorsement is everything. That's how we keep this state free, strong, and the best run in the country. So what can you do? Call your Florida state rep and say this: we need a joint resolution with one question. Should we eliminate property taxes on homestead homes? Yes or no? That's it. No gimmicks, no distractions, just a clean vote. I'll drop the link below the video so you can find your rep. Next, share this video with someone who still thinks one of those 13 fake bills is the answer. We want property taxes in Florida to stop, which stands for Stop Taxing Our Property. Drop stop in the comments if you're with me. And don't buy the media spin that people are leaving Florida. That's nonsense. Some of the richest people on the planet are moving in. Click here to learn about Florida's secret new billionaire hideaway. It's not on a beach, it's not in Miami, and you won't find it on Zillow. A-listers are moving in, armed ex-military are guarding the gates, but that's not even the wildest part. Click here and I'll see you there.